Real Virginia is proudly produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau. For nearly a century, Farm Bureau has been a friend of the farm for all Virginians. Visit our website at vafb.com.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce the wonderful local products we enjoy, brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Here's what's coming up on this week's show. Discover the work of Virginia's agricultural extension agents. Learn how to make your own raised beds in all shapes and sizes. And see how the shortage of large animal veterinarians is affecting farmers.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Welcome back to Real Virginia, everyone. This week, we're taking a look behind the scenes at Virginia Farm Bureau headquarters in Goochland County. Although there are many ways to find information, a personal, trusted advisor in your community still can't be beat. Join me as we travel across the Commonwealth to meet extension agents who offer guidance on all types of questions. Whether you have one raised garden bed in your backyard or raise 1,000 head of cattle, we all have questions. Fortunately, Virginia Cooperative Extension agents are ready to help find the answers.
Virginia Cooperative Extension, with the word extension, we're an outreach from the two land-grant universities in the state, Virginia Tech and Virginia State University. So we extend their reach out into the community with research and programs that they offer, bringing them to our local communities. We've got an office in either every city and every county in the state. Some merge, so they might not have one in both, but it's pretty much all the way across the state, even on the Eastern Shore. And so we have a wide audience that we address, from urban to extreme rural.
Mike Parrish, a 30-year extension veteran, serves Dinwiddie County in Southside Virginia.
Every day is different with an extension agent job. We don't have a set number of steps. We have seasons that we have to adjust to, for like spring and harvest season and things like that they're typical. But day to day is how whatever weather's going on that day, we have to adjust to what questions people have.
Like this inquiry common to both farmers and homeowners.
Is this pest brand new? So we send it to the lab to identify it, so we get proper identification to know that is that type of insects that we already have, or are we finding something new that's coming into the environment. And it looks like lately, in the last 4 or 5 years, we've got a lot of invasive insects that have come in.
One such invasive insect is imported fire ants, which are now prevalent in the region. Row crop farmer Robert Spires feels the impact of Parrish's work firsthand.
He's done a lot of good stuff here in the county. Keeps bringing us good information whenever we need it. They say the best thing about extension is the unbiased information we can get. Basically, our interaction with Mike is about we win different commodities. We could always depend on him for information.
And unbiased information helps the Spires be confident they're making informed decisions. And whether you're in rural Dinwiddie or a growing city like Virginia Beach, Extension adapts to the needs of local agriculture.
We had 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And if you think our job is sitting behind a desk and waiting for people to call, there was a misinterpretation of your job description. I think we got to be out with the growers, we got to be talking to the growers, or we won't have any idea on what's going on and what the needs are. That's the easiest way to understand what's needed in agriculture in our community, is being a part of it. And I feel like that's what I want to be doing, is being a part of Virginia Beach agriculture.
Although a city, Virginia Beach is home to over 23,000 acres of farmland, including 16 acres of strawberries, one of Flanagan's specialties.
During planting and harvest season, I'm probably talking with growers in 3 or 4 states, pretty easy, all different areas of Virginia, just because that's kind of what you're known for.
Flanagan partners with growers like Robert Vaughn to test new plant varieties in the area's transitional climate. And while some agents focus on crops and horticulture, in the rolling hills of the Piedmont, Buckingham County agent Jennifer Ligon serves a different set of needs.
I find myself out in the field very often, so very few office days, which is something that I definitely enjoy, but I get to go out and visit producers and help them with any issue that they might be having, whether it's going along with a veterinarian to help with herd checks and do record keeping and help them facilitate with them between the veterinarian and themselves so that they can ask good questions about how to improve their operation, calling questions, anything that can help them further their bottom line.
And while profitability is key, environmental stewardship is integral to Ligon's work as well. During our visit, Ligon and other agents led a pesticide applicators training for community members. And the best part about Extension?
A lot of people don't realize that Extension is free to them, and it's a state agency. We're housed at Virginia Tech and Virginia State University, and we also have research stations around the state as well that kind of regionally do specialized research, like in the area where you have your apple production or where you have your row crop production or where your urban area is. We have a research station that tries to tackle that.
And from the mountains to the coastal plain, the heart of Extension is helping others.
That's the biggest thing I really enjoy about Extension is we feel like a family in the ag community. It's pretty tight. And it's been very beneficial to me to be able to talk to a farmer in Southwest Virginia and learn just as much from him or her that I can bring back to my county.
The most rewarding is getting to work with producers and seeing them succeed and just giving them some extra tools to make their jobs easier and make their profit a little better. That's the most rewarding thing.
Across every county in Virginia, Extension agents connect research, resources, and real-world experience with the people who need it most at no cost. Whether you're planning next spring's garden, launching a farm business, or facing a challenge in your backyard, help is close by. Visit ext.vt.edu to connect with your local office and find out more. For Real Virginia, I'm Elijah Griles.
2026 marks the International Year of the Woman Farmer. To celebrate, Real Virginia will spotlight females who are an integral part of Virginia agriculture in each episode.
Tammy Cole is a Virginia agriculture leader and the Director of Operations for Healthy Harvest Fresh, a nonprofit organization based in Richmond County that is pioneering aquaponics production and agricultural education in the Commonwealth. Cole has described the Healthy Harvest Fresh aquaponics facility, which combines fish culture and hydroponic plant production as a symbiotic system, truly special in its field. She emphasized its role in expanding agricultural literacy by offering experiential learning opportunities for schools and community members. Under her leadership, the facility aims to produce up to 140,000 pounds of locally grown protein and produce annually for a 6-county food bank region and area schools. It also plans to use hands-on education to help Virginians understand food systems, make healthy choices, and potentially support self-sufficiency. Cole also has engaged with agricultural technology students and industry partners to connect classroom learning with real-world sustainable agriculture practices. Her value in agriculture education, experience, and awareness makes Cole an inspirational woman in Virginia agriculture. We're proud to spotlight Tammy Cole as part of our International Year of the Woman Farmer series.
Does the cold winter weather have you in the gardening doldrums? Fortunately, Ed Olson with Virginia Cooperative Extension has the perfect indoor project, making raised garden beds from the ground up.
We're here today at the Poquoson Museum at the York Poquoson Extension Master Gardener Demonstration Garden. And we're talking with Noel Talcott, and you're going to tell us about your unique garden raised bed design here.
Yeah, this garden was established back in 2013, and prior to establishing it, we discovered that when we have a heavy rain or tropical storm through here, this actual piece of property will have standing water that could be 5-6 inches tall at some time. So to alleviate the problem of trying to grow into the ground, we decided we were going to go to raised beds.
Okay.
But what we decided is we needed a raised bed design that would accommodate the fact that we are going to have the standing water. So what we did was we created this design, which is 18 inches high. It's got 3 2x6s, but the soil in here only goes down to the second 2x6. We have a false bottom floor in here. So the soil is 8 to 10 inches, but you only need 8 to 10 inches to grow anything in the raised bed. So there's actually a hollow space under this raised bed here, so that when the water comes in here, the water can be this deep and never gets into our soil. The other thing we do then that's helped us have these beds last for over 12 years is we put each of the corner supports on a brick. So that brick keeps that piece of wood off of the ground. So that piece of wood's never exposed to the water unless we have standing water. So again, it's a highly efficient design, easy to do, and once you do it, you may not have to redo it again for a dozen years.
That's great. So again, in traditional raised bed gardening, the soil goes all the way to the ground, and yours are lifted up so that when this area floods, it doesn't intrude onto the bed. But also, by not going to the ground, it can help eliminate some wildlife problems.
Right. If you just go place a raised bed in your yard, you're going to have a problem with either the weeds that were already there or whatever may intrude into in your raised bed, or if you got moles and voles or other things, they can just climb up in there and have a jolly good time. The other thing is you're putting your soil mixture in there to start with. So you start with a sterile soil mixture, okay? You don't have anything intruding into it.
Okay.
So the plants you put in here are just going to jump right out of the ground.
Great. Noel, this is a great base design. And so we're going to go over to your adaptive gardening section now. We're going to see how you've adapted it for different uses at the home garden. So Noel, we're over here now in your adaptive gardening section. Tell us how you've adapted that basic raised bed garden design for different gardeners' needs.
Okay, well what we want to do is illustrate ways that people can garden, whether they have limitations, disabilities, or they want to have a different technique that works for them. So what we've done here is we've taken the raised bed idea and incorporated it into 3 different raised beds. This one's a low raised bed. You might garden there by having knee pads. The next one up actually is at the height where you could pull a chair up and garden there. And again, they're small beds so you can easily reach across them. And the third one here, you can see you can just stand up and easily garden here. Here we have a garden that's a raised bed that's designed for someone who might be handicapped in a wheelchair. We actually have a master gardener, and so this would work for her. Another way you see right here is one that uses the same kind of design, but we're not raising it off the ground with legs. We've got it supported by concrete blocks here. We've got another raised bed in the garden that's made up of concrete blocks, just 2 levels high, and with the advantage of the hole in the top, you can plant other things in there to make it a more attractive garden.
What a great way to reduce, reuse, and recycle materials. What other adaptive techniques are you demonstrating here today?
Well, the other thing is that some people don't have any sun in their yard, but the sun might be on their fence. So we suggest put a window box on the fence, put a piece of a gutter section on the fence. Okay, that's another way that you can do it. Look online, be inventive. Other people have invented ways to do it. Don't be the first to try to do it yourself.
And this isn't your only adaptive gardening for a wheelchair. You've got another section here in the garden.
Yes, we have one that's designed specifically for a gardener to like roll into. So it's U-shaped. They can roll into it. They can garden here, in front of them, and to the right side.
Thank you, Noel, for talking to us about your raised bed gardening design, as well as some adaptive gardening techniques. For From the Ground Up, I'm Ed Olson. For more information about raised bed gardening, contact your local extension office and talk to a master gardener. See you next time.
Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Coming up on Heart of the Home, homemade hot and sour soup. We hope you'll stay with us.
I don't know about you, but nothing sounds better to me on a cold, snowy day than some warm soup. Chef Tammy has the perfect recipe for a delicious hot and sour soup in the heart of the home.
Hi, I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Welcome to Heart of the Home. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a delicious hot and sour soup. That standard that you get at all your Chinese restaurants, which I do love, but I'll tell you what, once you make it homemade, you'll never go back. What we've got here is we've got several cups of chicken broth. You can certainly use vegetable broth, not a problem there. We're going to add some sliced mushrooms. They could be broken down a little bit more if you'd like. Stir those in. We're going to add some bamboo shoots. We're going to add some rice vinegar. That is what's going to give you that soury flavor. And some soy sauce. And some ground ginger. And for the spicy part, the hot part, so to speak, we're going to do some chili garlic sauce. I personally like mine spicy, so I'm going to do 2 teaspoons. If you don't like it spicy, you don't even have to add that at all, or you could certainly add less. And we're going to let that come to a simmer. In the meantime, we've reserved a little bit of chicken broth here, and we're going to stir in some cornstarch. That's going to kind of give it that little thickening, so to speak. I'm going to use a fork and just whisk up the cornstarch with the chicken broth. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the soup. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit. Oh, it's starting to take on that nice texture that it does. Now we're going to come back and we're actually going to add some whole eggs that we have whisked up. You want to kind of let this come out in ribbons, so to speak. So we're just going to move our fork around and drizzle the egg in there. You're not looking to make scrambled eggs for your breakfast in the morning. You're just looking to drizzle the egg in there, kind of ribbon-like. You'll start to see it take on that texture that you see. I love this. You could add all the egg at once if you wanted to, but to be honest, a little at a time is what's going to give you those nice little wisp of egg in there. Stir that around. I'm going to turn the heat back just a little bit to about a medium or a medium high. And then we're going to come back and we're going to actually add some cubed tofu. I actually found this already cubed in the store. Very excited about that. It certainly cuts down on some time for you. I'm going to add tofu to that soup. And then we're going to add some green onion. And about a teaspoon or so of sesame oil. And that does not want to come out, so we're going to take the top off. All right, and we're going to stir that in. Now you want to let this simmer for a little while. Want those mushrooms to get a little bit more tender. But I'm telling you what, this is the best hot and sour soup, and you'll never go back to the restaurant. How quick and easy was that? You could get that ready right after work for dinner that night, especially on these cold winter nights. All right, we're going to ladle our delicious soup into a bowl here. And we're going to top it off with just a little bit more green onion. A nice little color balance there. All right, and how easy was that? Hot and sour soup, homemade. I'm Chef Tammy Brawley from the Green Kitchen. Join us next time on Heart of the Home.
Eggs are cracking big numbers in Virginia. In 2024 alone, our farmers produced more than 733 million eggs, fueling breakfast tables across the Commonwealth. From backyard flocks to large-scale operations, roughly 39,000 Virginia farms are part of poultry and egg production. According to the USDA, the average chicken lays 301 eggs in a year. Elements like age, stress, daylight hours, and feed quality affect the number of eggs a chicken will produce. You can find your own locally produced eggs at farmers markets in every corner of Virginia.
We've all been there before, wondering if Fluffy or Toto need to go to the vet. And Virginia farmers are no different. With dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of livestock, having a nearby large animal veterinarian is critical. Mike Voyak has more on the shortage of these essential caregivers.
When dogs, cats, and other small animals need medical care, you can easily load them into the car and take them to a veterinarian. However, what do you do if your animals are a herd of 1,200-pound cows? That is where large animal veterinarians like Melinda McCall step in. Dr. McCall and other vets throughout Virginia play a vital role in keeping animals healthy and allowing farms to maintain productivity. We went for a ride-along with Dr. McCall to see what a house call entails and discuss the need for more vets like herself.
My name is Melinda McCall. I've been a large animal veterinarian for 21 years. Basically, I got into it because I grew up on a dairy farm, and I really always loved the cattle and working with the cattle, caring for the cattle alongside my dad. And really it just became a passion, and it's what I really woke up wanting to do every morning, so it led me to this career. Biggest joy for me is the people that I meet along my journey and the animals that I'm helping, and I feel like my work is meaningful because, you know, I'm working on animals that are in the food supply and that provide us food, provide us clothing, really production animals, and I feel like that's an important job.
Agriculture is hard work, and that is the same for those who support farmers. Being a large animal veterinarian comes with its challenges as well.
This line of work is, it can be a little bit dangerous at times. People put you in a bad situation, or an animal breaks bad, that can be bad. Long hours, I mean, but agriculture has long hours. It's really more of a lifestyle than it is a job. But I'm accustomed to that, being from a farm.
While the work is rewarding and ever-changing, there is a massive need for more large animal veterinarians in rural communities.
Definitely less large animal veterinarians than there have been, and more people getting animals, different types of large animals. So that is an issue. We get calls from out of the state even sometimes, and they say, you know, you're the closest person that will work on a goat or a pig or, you know, name the animal. And so we try to accommodate that, but we allow them to bring the animals to us if they're able to. We try to help them find a veterinarian that's closer that might be able to work on the type of animal that they're looking for. But yeah, it seems like there's not enough of us by the amount of phone calls we get and the requests that we get for help.
Early education and opportunities like 4-H and FFA are important to attract the next generation into this field. But for the truly committed, attending veterinarian school like the Virginia-Maryland College of Veterinary Medicine is the real test.
My name is Madison Kogel. I'm a fourth-year food animal tracker here, which means that I will graduate in just a few months. I feel fulfilled when I'm doing this work. That brings me joy. I love to be able to work with producers. I love to be able to work with pet owners, animal owners of all kind of ranges, and work on both the production and companion aspect of things. And I also just love helping and working with animals.
Several factors are affecting the lack of large animal vets in rural communities. As Dr. Jamie Stewart, Associate Professor for Production Management Medicine at the college, explained.
The shortage is caused by a variety of things, and again, loans and money tends to be the big part of it. When you're talking about going into a small animal practice, they offer signing bonuses, higher salaries, and in general better hours. A lot of times there's no emergency hours, whereas you go to a large animal clinic and there's no large animal emergency service around, so you're the one that's seeing those emergencies. I feel like some of the students that I've seen that have gone out to private practice in large animal and left is due to lack of mentorship. They just feel like they didn't have the mentorship they needed. They didn't feel like they were gaining anything from it. They weren't making much money to be able to pay back their student loans, and so they found something else, which most of the time is small animal.
The student debt I'm in, the student debt I know that clinicians that I've worked with are in, even years out in practice, is astronomical.
Veterinary school is very expensive, and Us as large animal veterinarians, we can't set our price very high because our producers aren't setting their price, right? So we can't just charge more. That's not the answer for us. So we have to figure out how to make veterinary education more affordable. There is a program through the federal government called the Veterinary Medical Loan Repayment Program. And actually my associate veterinarian is been fortunate to receive some of that money.
So what is the solution to help recruit more people into this field?
You know, we have to find people who want to go back to these communities, that feel a drive to go back to these communities, because those are the ones that are going to stick. So the big thing is, how can we find students within these communities already and offer them scholarships? So for students that otherwise, maybe it's a poor rural community and they couldn't otherwise afford to go to vet school because it is a big financial burden. So can we find them, get them scholarships, and assuming that, you know, they meet all the criteria for entrance, but get them in here and get them graduated so that they want to go back. So that's been a big discussion right there. The other part is, what can we do to encourage practitioners out there to provide mentorship to the students?
I do think we could do a better job of recruiting those young people, and I think that's really where we need to start. We need to start with young people in 4-H, middle school, high school, and really, if we see potential as an agricultural community in some of those young people for veterinary medicine, we really need to try to encourage them down that path and really mentor them along the way. We all got to do our part to encourage. Veterinarians have to be open to having students and taking ride-alongs and letting people have a little experience in this line of work.
The process to become a large animal veterinarian can be arduous and costly, but if you have a passion for this life, it can be very rewarding.
It's not going to be butterflies and rainbows every day, but you are waking up in the morning and making a difference in the world. And so if that's something that people are interested in, and if that's something that they're called to do, I think that it's really important to see those goals through.
Spend all day, every day trying to encourage students to stay in this field. So, you know, if there's any producers out there that get a new vet in the area, give them a little grace, especially if they're new vets, because once you lose them, they're gone. But you guys can always work together, and we're all always learning. So just make sure that you give everybody the chance that they deserve.
To really show them that this can be a career, you know, farming and or veterinary medicine on production animals, you know, because it is, to me, it's very meaningful. And working with these people that are working to make a living and to produce food for all of us, I mean, there's nothing more important than that.
For Real Virginia, I'm Mike Voyak.
We're so glad you could join us to celebrate all the bounty Virginia has to offer. From the kitchen to your home and garden to our beautiful wide open spaces, we're proud to say that this is Real Virginia. For everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a great week.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay.